they're still Green Bay until you beat them. Like, it's just like the Kansas City Chiefs.
I just think when you take Davante Adams off your team, you just don't replace him. I don't care who your quarterback is. I think these are two of the elitist of elite wide receivers we have in our game. And, you know, I understand the quarterbacks get all the love. It's a wide receiver league now, too. I wanted to put that power rankings back up from Peter King as it relates to the NFC North. If you look at this, it's the Green Bay Packers at 5, and then it's everybody else. You got to move to the right side of the screen to find the rest of the 3 teams in the NFC North. The Vikings at 19, the Lions at 20, and then the Bears at 28. Braylon, to you, is this division, the NFC North, still Green Bay and everybody else?
It's Green Bay and Minnesota. I keep talking about Minnesota. I still like Minnesota. I know a lot of people do not trust Kirk Cousins, but once again, I'm talking about the regular season. I'm not talking about the playoffs. That's when you can't trust Kirk Cousins and some other quarterbacks as well. But I just like what they're going to do. They're going to be healthy this year. I like them. I do agree with you that Green Bay is going to struggle this year, but they're also still going to be
7-win football.
They're still going to also be Green Bay. You can't just knock somebody off their start. Did they win last year? Yes. Did they win the year before that? 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 No, Minnesota won. Did they win before that? Yes, they won. They win every year. And then they've made their defense, which was their strong suit last year, with the exception of, obviously, Aaron Rodgers. The defense was their strong suit. They've assured the defense. They've shored up the defense. They've made that better. They've added some pieces on offense, too. They're still Green Bay until you beat them. Like, it's just like the Kansas City Chiefs. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, it was the same conversation yesterday, and last year, and you saw them falter a little bit, and they weren't the same Kansas City Chiefs, but they figured it out. They went on a win streak when they brought in Melvin Ingram mid-season. They still won the AFC West, And then in the playoffs, it's, this is Josh Allen's year, and I know everybody's going to tell me about the coin toss, and they lost because of the coin flip, but it was still Chiefs to lose, and they didn't lose it. So it's the same thing with Green Bay. Until Green Bay loses it. Now, that's why I bring in the Minnesota Vikings. I like what they did in the draft. They went after the secondary players. They strengthened their secondary. They went after Lewis Sine out of Georgia, who we saw firsthand against Michigan. They went after a couple other players. They went after Clemens, I want to say, from Booth, Booth from Clemson. Mm-hmm. That's why I said Clemens. They went after Booth from Clemson, who will be a starter as well. I like that move as well. Dalvin Cook will come back healthy this year. You see what Justin Jefferson has been able to do at the wideout position his first 2 years in the league. And then on the other side, you'll have a healthy Adam Thielen. I think those two will go back and forth. And I think the Vikings will dethrone Green Bay this year, which will lead into what you were talking about, is Green Bay just not being that team in the NFC North anymore. But I think they have to get dethroned for that to happen. And I think this year Minnesota dethrones them.
Maz, your perspective on that? Is it Green Bay and everybody else, or are you like him?
I'm Green Bay still to win it. I got Minnesota second. I got the Lions third. I got the Bears fourth. I think that's basically what a lot of people, if you ask the majority of people, that's what they're going to say. Bray likes the Minnesota to pull it off. We'll see how their first-year head coach goes. You know him.
Kevin O'Connell.
He knows him, and you know what? The offense could be a lot better, but last year the defense is what failed them. Now they got young kids coming up. We'll see if they are worthy of those picks.
Sometimes you just need a change. I mean, you see what happened when Matt LaFleur came in for Green Bay. I think that's what I'm talking about. The year before he came in, Minnesota was the last time they won it. That's when they went to the NFC Championship. But sometimes you need that change. You need a young guy. Matt LaFleur comes in, and guess what happens with Aaron Rodgers? He's reinvigorated. The team is reinvigorated. They went 13-3, 13-3, 13-4 last year. So it's 3 years in a row of 13 or more wins. You needed that new guy to come in. I think now you get Kevin O'Connell, can't disrespect the Irish heritage. You get Kevin O'Connell to come in. He's new eyes. He's young guy. He's coming off that Sean McVay tree, just like other guys, like Brad Staley, who's out there with the Los Angeles Chargers that we've been talking about. New eyes, young coach, new energy. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who's the GM, has added some players, too, in the offseason. So I just think it's a new coach. It's a new time, and I think they do dethrone them this year.
If you look at the Packers and the Vikings, I mean, they basically, you know, I know they're division games, but you're probably looking at the Bears and the Lions as 4 wins.
That's what they're looking at. Yep.
That's what they're looking at. And you're almost like, okay, so we got to find 6 other games. We got to find 6 other wins to get into the playoffs. Right? I mean, I don't know. I am not high on the Packers this year. I don't think you lose a player like Davante Adams in
You still have Aaron Rodgers, who makes everybody better. He can make you a star. He can make you a star with receiver.
I understand what the record is without Davante Adams in the game. I think it's undefeated last year. I think he was like 6-0 or something like that, or 5-0 or something like that. I just think when you take Davante Adams off your team, you just don't replace him. I don't care who your quarterback is. When you take Tyreek Hill off your team, you just don't replace a guy like that, and then you're all of a sudden better. I don't care who your quarterback is. I think these are two of the elitist of elite wide receivers we have in our game. And, you know, I understand the quarterbacks get all the love, but those –
Oh, man.
I spit, man. I was spitting chocolate
He
out.
was salivating. The Lions got you. He's salivating thinking about the Lions winning.
Chocolate. But the quarterbacks get all the credit there. But I'm telling you, these wide receivers are as elite as they come. Frankie Big Boy, baby, thank you and your team.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys.
We love you
Good seeing you
guys.
again.
Thank you.
No,
but I'm sorry. I think this, aside from a quarterback game, it's a wide receiver league now too.
Right.
And those wide receivers, you just pass them off as guys, and I'm telling you, that's not the right way to go about it.
Yeah, look at this guy telling a wide receiver what wide receivers are doing. No, I understand that, and I do appreciate.
So you agree with me?
I appreciate and I agree that Davante Adams is a monster and he's a beast. Mm-hmm. But like Matt said, it's Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. How many guys have we seen Aaron Rodgers lose? I mean, let's go down the list. How many guys have we seen him, and he's always replaced me. He's always found a way. He's always found a way, whether it was James Jones, whether it was Jordy Nelson, whether it was Donald Driver, whether it was Greg Jennings, whether it was Devontae hasn't happened yet. Go down the list of wide receivers and tight ends that he has replaced, and he has made it look just like new. Last year, he went to the game against the Arizona Cardinals. He didn't have anybody. Shit, I could have played wide receiver, excuse my French, and he still won in Arizona. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Davante Adams because I was the one lobbying hard for him to get his money and get his bread because I do believe he is the best. And when DeAndre Hopkins is in there, I think he's second best. But I think he is the best, and you can't replace that. But I think the situation is very different in Green Bay than it is with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs rely, and they don't realize this yet, they relied so heavily on Tyreek Hill, little stuff. You look at the game, what game was it? Every game. You look at what Tyreek Hill does. They get behind. You do a little dump off. He runs the touchdown. I want to say it was against the Chiefs when they were it was the Chiefs when they were playing against Buffalo. How they got up on the Buffalo, took the lead. It was a Tyreek Hill 60-yard touchdown. You look at plays that he's made, catches that he's made in overtime. Tyreek Hill, and everyone talks about it. And, they still have Andy Reid. They still have Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid never won a Super Bowl until he had Tyreek Hill. Go ahead and think about that. Andy Reid didn't win the Super Bowl until he had Tyreek Hill. And I understand Patrick Mahomes was a part of that. Who was Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to? Tyreek Hill is a bigger loss to the Chiefs than Davante Adams is to Green Bay because Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is different than Patrick Mahomes. You never see Aaron Rodgers go on a 7-game slump like you saw Patrick Mahomes go on last year. If it wasn't the defense – speared by Melvin Ingram, who, like we always talk about, was a late season addition after Game 6, they wouldn't have been in the playoffs. And they damn sure wouldn't have went to the AFC Championship for the 4th time in a row. That loss is going to hurt them more than Davante Adams is going to hurt Green Bay. But he still is a damn good wide receiver. He's going to have a good time out with the Raiders with his former roommate. But I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. Whether we like him or not, I don't like him. But you damn sure got to respect him.